Hi, I'm Ed Kerns. I'm the Eugene H and Mildred Clapp Professor of Art. Been at Lafayette for 37 years and received the Clapp Chair 30 years ago. So, built buildings, hired people, started the modern era art department and started a new life here at Lafayette. And through that whole time, I wrote Eugene letters, at least on the quarter. I wrote him a letter and he would write me back. And I've been the only person to have this chair, and in a few years when I retire, somebody else will have the benefit of a lovely legacy of connectivity to that family. The piece of music I chose, having been asked to do so, is from an Italian opera by Puccini that premiered in 1895-96, somewhere around there, called La Bohème. And it's about artists and poets living in garrets and lofts in Paris in the late 19th century. So this guy, Rodolfo, who's a poet, meets a street person named Mimi, and of course, like in all good 19th century operatic events, in the last act she dies of consumption. That's just a requisite requirement. But nevertheless, when they meet, he takes her to his studio that he shares with Marcello, who's a painter. And she's cold, and he grasps her hand and says, "What a cold little hand," and begins to tell her through the aria what he does. And what he says is, "I am a poet. My songs, my life are about describing experience and writing poetry about the great themes of life." And yet, during this aria, he burns one of his manuscripts in order to keep her warm. And the reason I chose that piece is when I listen to the arias, and this one in particular, called "What a Cold Little Hand," it takes me back to my early days in New York, in Manhattan, where I lived for 12 years, when I lived still that kind of romantic life. We were very practical. We were survivalist in a way. We sneaked our garbage out at night so people would not know we were living in these lofts, but of course everybody did. It was a wonderful existence because artists could talk to other artists. It wasn't the big art world it is today, where commerce, international commerce, in fact, has taken over most of Manhattan, and artists don't have these natural meeting places.